What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another War Within video. Hope you're all doing very well. I wanted to talk about my Farseer Resto Shaman build, some of the really cool talent synergies that are working here, and I've got some footage of a +12 that I did. We're going to get right into it, and if you guys are interested in playing this build, I'm going to do some more videos on it in the future as I get a little bit more gear and as I kind of refine this talent tree a little bit. Just for my gear, I'm 662 right now. Got some mythic pieces, I have some crafted pieces. It's going fine, but this is one of my alts, so just keep that in mind. Yo, I really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe on the video. I gotta get some coffee. Bye. My stats are 31% crit, 27 haste, 46 mastery. We got some verse, and there you go there. So let me talk about the build, then I'll get into the footage. We are playing Farseer Resto Shaman. If you don't know how that works, essentially, when you cast Unleash Life, you're gonna spawn some ancestors, okay? These ancestors are going to copy your spells, okay? If you cast a single target healing spell, they'll cast Healing Surge. If you cast an AoE healing spell, they'll cast Chain Heal. If you cast a single target DPS spell, they'll cast Lava Burst. If you cast an AoE DPS spell, they're going to cast Chain Lightning, okay? That's just what they do. So stats-wise, haste becomes more important because the more GCDs you can fit into the window that the ancestors are up for, the more damage and the more healing that you'll do, okay? So haste actually becomes pretty important, which I love. I love healers that use a lot of haste, okay? So that's the basic of the treat. For me, I'm using what's called long ancestors. So I'm using the additional duration on them, +4 seconds, and their spells are more powerful. The other way to play it is to go with the proccing ancestors, which is that your Riptide has a chance to proc an ancestor, and your ancestors have a chance to proc another ancestor when they die. That's another way to play it. You can play it however way you want. I prefer to have the longer duration ancestors that are more powerful. So I don't ever have a random ancestor spawning, like ever. But what I do have is when I press my Unleash Life, I get 2 ancestors for 10 seconds instead of only 6 seconds. And they're very strong. So you have a really, really strong 30-second burst window because it's the Ancestral Swiftness is when you do Ancestral Swiftness and you do Unleash Life together. That's a 30-second cooldown because of Ancestral Swiftness, and then you get a really, really strong... It helps to handle any of the damage that's coming out in the current keys. Like, when we talk about healers in this season, we talk about healers that have 30-second cooldowns and resources to manage damage that's coming in at like a 30-second interval. Disc Priest has it in spades. Holy Paladin has it now with a 30-second Divine Toll. And this is the answer for Farseer Resto Shaman, is to have the 30 seconds from Ancestral Swiftness and Unleash Life. Now, in between those 30-second burst windows, you will have a permanent ancestor up because your Unleash Life is a 15-second cooldown and it spawns an ancestor for 16 seconds. 16 seconds. So you always have one permanent ancestor, and then every 30 seconds you'll have 2 ancestors. That second ancestor lasts for 10 seconds. So it's kind of cool. You always have a little buddy with you, copying your damage, copying your healing, and then every 30 seconds you've got that big burst window. So very, very good. The other cool thing about this is tidal waves will stack up to 4 times. Going to get to that in a second. Very, very strong. And you get more mana, which is kind of nice. They buffed Maelstrom Supremacy a long time ago now. It used to be like 5%, and now it's 15%. That's really cool. And then you get the extra charge of Riptide, which is super cool as well. So on the talent tree, this is the build that I'm running, and I'm going to talk about a couple of talents that are really important. Ascendance is really important, and I'm actually convinced at this point that I should be running Preeminence. Instead of 2-minute Ascendance, I'm going to be running Preeminence to give me the haste bonus, because you proc Deeply Rooted all the time because you're pressing Riptide all the time. You have 3 charges of Riptide. We have a bunch of Riptide talents that are buffing its effectiveness. You're pressing it all the time, and you're proccing Deeply Rooted all the time. The amount of times I actually pressed Ascendance in this dungeon is like once or twice. Now, as you climb into the higher keys, you'll have to press it more. I understand that, but the reality is you get so many procs of Ascendance from Deeply Rooted that I think it's worth it to probably go Preeminence to get the haste bonus while you're procced inside of Deeply Rooted. So I'm going to try that in my next set of keys, and we'll see how it goes. Here's the combo of talents that I really want to talk about. Tidal Waves, Master the Elements, and Spirit Walker's Tidal Totem. These 3 are really, really cool. So whenever you press Riptide, your next healing surge will have 30% increased critical strike chance. Whenever you cast Lava Burst, you can buff your next healing surge by up to 60%, so it'll heal for 60% more. And then Spearwalker's Tidal Totem says, when you drop Healing Tide, your next 3 healing surges are instant cast and cost less mana. So what ends up happening is you can get a really, really strong healing surge to smoke people for a crazy amount of healing. I gotta find something to hit. It doesn't matter. I'll just show you the details here. So on my spells, my overall here, my healing surge is my top heal. Why? Because I had a crit for 6.7 million. That's why. And the combo of these 3 talents put together is really, really strong. You can have a healing surge hit somebody for 60% more healing. It has 30% additional crit, and it's instant if you have the title. If you've recently cast holy cow, Healing Tide Totem. I can't talk right now. Losing my mind. Anyway, the point is, it encourages you to actually get into combat and do some damage, because then you get the Master of the Elements buff. There's the 60% right there. I'm going to get a Tidal Waves buff. So now I have the critical effect chance. Then I drop my Healing Tide Totem, and then I'm going to watch this here. We're going to hit ourselves. Boom. That hit for 3.3 million. Actually, yeah, it crit. So 3.3 million there. So anyway, that's a really cool combo, and I'll show you in the key when we get to it. It's very, very strong. Another really surprising talent for me was Flow of the Tides. Chain Heal bounces an additional time, and it consumes 1 Riptide. The initial person that you cast Chain Heal on, it'll consume a Riptide to do 30% more healing. We're pressing Riptide all the time, and we're getting Riptide cooled down for us whenever an Ancestor spawns. So you don't have to like worry about the Riptides. You go Riptide, 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 and then you Chain Heal somebody, and now your Chain Heal's 30% stronger, and you can just Riptide the person who lost, you consume the Chain Heal on them. You just put it back on them right away. It only consumes 1 Riptide, not every Riptide that's on people. So this is a very strong talent for this particular build. Okay? I know that was a little fast, but those are the talents that I kind of run through. I don't want to spend all day talking about them, so we're going to get into the key. I'm just going to show you the opening pull here with Bloodlust and kind of how we handled it, and then I'll get to a couple of other pulls that were meaningful. So, yeah, I think, to me, personally, I really don't like the way that Totemic feels and the way that Totemic plays. It just, I don't know, it just bugs me. And I feel like I always run out of mana when I'm playing Totemic because I don't know how to not press Chain Heal. This build right here, to me, is so much more fun because you get these big bursty moments where you get your Ancestors out and you Healing Surge somebody, and then you Chain Heal, and like they copy your Chain Heals, and it just goes boom, 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 and everybody's health bar just, I just love that style. And if you love that style too, then you should try Farseer out for sure. It kind of plays like Holy Paladin in that regard, where you have spells that just instantly move health bars very quickly, and I love that. That's just my favorite way to play. This is another really cool thing. Again, anytime you cast an AoE healing spell, your Ancestors will copy it and they'll cast Chain Heal instead. So right now, I'm casting Healing Rain on the ground. I don't know why, but I am. I have 2 Ancestors up. Watch the health bars move. Watch them move right here. Boom! Those are from my Ancestors. That was their Chain Heals, not mine. So their spells are very, very powerful. And you can really rely on them to help you out in a bind. And again, it's you have 1 Ancestor up permanently and then 2 Ancestors up every 30 seconds for a very big burst window. So it's a fantastic way to heal, and it's quite a bit different than Totemic, which is why I like it so much. Your Healing Rain in this build has nothing to do with healing, right? In the Totemic build, Healing Rain or Surging Totem becomes like your highest priority heal, basically. Not in this build. Healing Rain is garbage in this build. It actually overhealed for like 50%. So my Healing Rain was maybe 1% of my total healing, but it was a lot of my damage. It's for Acid Rain. So when you're positioning your Healing Rain in this build, you don't have to worry about where it is, except that it should be under the enemies. Just try to put it under the enemy's feet as best you can, and then forget about it and go do your other stuff, okay? Get as much damage out of it as you can, but don't worry too much about putting it under like your allies' feet. You don't have to do any of that. You can just use it for damage. So it's a very different mindset this build compared to Totemic, like they are just radically different. The powerhouses of this build are Riptide, Healing Surge, Chain Heal. Those three spells are massive. You get your ancestors out, you press those spells, you're going to do a lot of healing, okay? So if you're wondering kind of like what should I focus on when I'm playing this build, it's those. Look at that instant response right there. This was a juiced up, this was me with double ancestors. And remember, Ancestral Swiftness, which is the 30-second cooldown, you get an instant cast free spell every time you press it. So every 30 seconds, you get an instant cast free spell. You press it on Chain Heal or Healing Rain, it saves you like 150,000 mana. It's pretty good. But watch the health bars move here. Just boom. That's the kind of healing that I love. I love that knee jerk, just boom, smoking people with big heals. I think it's a lot of fun. So there's Chewy. First boss. The main thing to look out here, of course, is for when he does Throw Cinder. This is when he puts 2 dots on your allies. And again, this is where you have a really cool tool. Like Healing Surge is very good here. I'm going to drop my Healing Tide Totem. That's going to get me my instant cast Healing Surges that are ready to go, okay? And I can smack this rogue here. You want to make sure that you've got a Riptide on the person that you're healing because of Deluge, right? If you have Riptide or Healing Rain down on the ground on those people, then you'll do 15% more healing. So you want to make sure you do that. But it's just really nice. Again, similar to the Chain Heals, the Healing Surges that you have are just instant, immediate responses that are going to go a long way to moving those health bars. And I love that. So that's this fight in a nutshell. Nothing too crazy going on here. I'm going to move forward. Sorry for the skipping that. We're going to move forward to this hallway. There isn't too much going on this pack. I don't think. The next pack has a couple interesting things. If the tank starts to take damage in your keys, if the tank really starts to get hit super hard, remember that you can always Spirit Link a tank and it will obviously steal everybody else's health and give it to the tank, which is really nice. That's one way to save the tank. Another way is, again, with those really big healing surges that we've got, throw out a couple of lava bursts, get the Master of the Elements buff online. You can see the tank taking a lot of damage here, and I'm just healing surging him for a lot of health. So, but get the Master of the Elements buff online, buff your next healing surge by like 30 or 60%, and then just smack that tank, and you'll do 5-6 million HPS, or sorry, you'll hit him for 5-6 million HP and just dig him right out of the grave. And it's great. It just feels fantastic. There's another instant cast. This is another instant cast chain heal. I have 2 ancestors out. This guy's about to crash, and I immediately respawn with a chain heal and move those health bars back up. It's actually happened so fast you can barely tell, but it just goes boom, boom, like right away. Because you get, again, it's instant and it's free because of Ancestral Swiftness, so it's really nice. And then I put down my Healing Tide Totem. Once again, I've got those healing surges ready to go, and I can hit the tank here. And I think I hit him here. Yeah, there's a heal right there. 4 million. That's a 4 million healing surge right there. I didn't even have a Master of the Elements buff up, so that would have been like 5 million, 5.5 million, maybe even more if I had gotten that buff up. So it's something to work on for me. But again, this is just the way it works, and it's very, very strong. I'm just going to show you the IPA fight, I think, and that's basically the rest of it. There isn't too much else to see, but just for some AoE healing, you can see here, again, I have Healing Tide Totem down, so I have instant healing surges to help people out, and I can, of course, chain heal very quickly, and my ancestors are out, so it's a lot of extra healing. You get extra mobility as well with the instant healing surges, which is nice. I could have used Spirit Walker's title, or Spirit Walker's Grace to move around while casting right there, but I didn't even need to, because I had those instant healing surges. Here comes the next AoE damage coming up here. Again, I've got my Unleash Life ready to go, and I'm going to press it, and I've got only 1 ancestor this time, so we've got to just keep moving. Again, I should have popped Spirit Walker's Grace here, but I don't know, my brain wasn't working. I pop Ascendance, and then watch this heal right here. Watch this chain here. You can see it's channeling. These health bars are going to move. Watch this. Boom. It's just like, oh, that feeling is so good. The ability to instantly respond to the incoming damage. I don't know how people play Resto Druid. There's lots of great Resto Druids out there. I just don't know how you guys do it. I need to be able to move health bars like this. If I can't, I feel like everybody's going to die. So anyway, if you're like me, you appreciate this kind of style, then this is the healer. This is kind of the build you might want to be looking at. Here's Spirit Link here. Steal a little bit of health as much as I can before I have to move. And then I have to move, and then I get people back up with those healing, with those chain heals. Once again, boom, big chain heal. We have only one ancestor out. The permanent ancestor, gonna get a healing. I got a cap totem down there for the brew drops. And that is basically the IPA fight in a nutshell. And that's the dungeon. There's not really nothing else. I went through the rest of the footage. There's nothing else super interesting that I want to show you. So let me show you the numbers, okay? That was a plus 12 Cinderbrew Meadery. On the damage front, you can see Ancestor damage, top damage, and then Acid Rain is our second. So huge, huge damage from the Ancestors. Don't underestimate how much these guys can do. They will do a lot, okay? Very nice there. And then we've got our healing. And we've got Healing Surge is our top heal, Chain Heal, and then Insurance. Now, the reason these are our top two is because our Ancestors are included in the Healing Surge, Chain Heal calculations, because those are the two spells that they cast. So our Ancestors did about 15% of our healing just by themselves. So they would be in third place. Actually, they would probably be our top heal. How much? Yeah, 9% on Healing Surge, and then 12% on Chain Heal. So our Ancestors did 15% of our overall healing on their own. That is really good. And again, they're doing it in the moments when you need it most, right? You can press Unleash Life to get both your Ancestors exactly precisely when you need the healing. So that's the beautiful part about it, is that it's not like random at all. You can get it precisely when you need it, which I really appreciate. So that's the build, guys. That's what the healing looks like. Again, I think one of the talents I'm going to change is I'm going to go to Preeminence in a 3-minute Ascendance, because I really don't think you need 2-minute Ascendance. I promise you, you get so many freaking deeply rooted procs because you're pressing Riptide all the time. I'm very interested to see what the haste feels like. I think having 25% haste in those moments is going to be amazing. So I'll let you know how the build goes. I'm going to keep running it. I'm going to give you an updated video down the line. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you're interested in playing this build, I would love to hear from you all down there, and stay tuned for more videos. Okay. Thank you so much. I love you all. I'll see you in the next one.